Tribune.
Gaseous hydrogen mixture coming out of the
Tribune. Ellie, boot up the door locks.
It's a unit system. I know this. It's all the files of the whole park. It tells you everything. I gotta find the right file. Oh, this is it. This might be the right file.
I don't want you on this game right now.
What are you talking about?
You've been on kill 'em up games all day and all yesterday.
It's because my new favorite game.
I don't like it. You know.
This isn't the right file. This might be the right file. This isn't the right file. This might be the right file.
I was laying in my bed last night thinking about that, bro. Like, if I just, like, took a shovel and I just started to dig into my grass, I wonder when I'd hit the ocean, bro.
This isn't the right file. This might be the right file. This isn't the right file. You got it! Yes!
Dinosaurs lived a long time ago. They were terrible lizards, don't you know?
This is it.
Some ate plants, some ate meat, some ate fish, and some ate beets. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. It is so good to have you here right now. I hope you're all having an excellent day. And tell me if my microphone is too loud. We did some audio changes today, me and iOS especially. So yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody to Paleontologizing. Holy cow! If any of you are here for the very first time, then I'd like to give you an extra special welcome and to introduce myself. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch doing some good old-fashioned science outreach. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hugin, 16 months. Holy cow.
This is Howard. He's my pet Dinosaurus. He's a huge commitment, but he's a sweet duck.
Very nice, Hugin. Very nice. Anyway, yeah. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do science outreach. Talking about fossils, talking about fossil science, talking about some latest discoveries, publications in the world of paleontology. And as a paleontologist, I dig up and study and publish on fossils. Dinosaur fossils in particular. That's dinosaur paleontologist is well, dinosaur paleontology is what I do. And I'm here on Twitch talking about it. We're going to be doing some of that today. A bunch of Q&A. We're going to have all kinds of discussion, go on all kinds of tangents. This is an interactive broadcast meant to show you what paleontology is like, to demystify it, show you how paleontology actually works, do some paleontologizing, as it were. Of course, when it's not summertime, I'm broadcasting from here in my office in the sunny San Francisco Bay Area. But when I'm not here, when it is summertime, I'm usually out in the field, digging up dinosaurs in places like Wyoming, Utah, and Montana. I'm going to be doing that again this next summer. I'm very excited about that. But for the time being, we're here in civilization. Anyway, I started a little bit later today, trying to pace myself because I'm going to be raiding into science streams before too long. And we're going to be talking about some new science publications. I've got 2 paleontology papers. Balint has got 2 insect and genetics papers for us to look at. And we're going to do a cross-discipline chat like we do on Wednesday evenings. So I hope you're ready for that too. It's going to be a lot of fun. But as for today, we're going to be doing a bunch of Q&A. We've got... We'll see if we have time to get to our new Titanosaur sauropod. Just published today, like an hour ago, something like that. And a paper on woolly mammoths as well. We might get to those tomorrow, though. We'll have to see how things go. Anyway, let's see who's here in the chat. There's Matt M33 was first today. How you doing, Matt? Welcome, welcome. Smorphosaurus. Howdy, howdy. I hope you're doing well. Tony is my baby. Hello to you. We've got Fall Machine. What's shaking, Fall Machine? Howdy, howdy. Science Streams, Balint. I'm excited to talk to you later. I'm also excited about TwitchCon, too. Yeah. May or may not have already booked a hotel for that. Those of you who didn't hear the news, TwitchCon is going to be in San Diego, California this year. Very excited about that. Yeah. And Lady Lara Croft, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Womp Womp Sad, how are you doing? It's good to have you here. And the biologist, welcome back to you. I hope things are good in your part of the world. It's good to see you, as always. Red Sledge BLU, howdy howdy to you. Welcome to Paleontologizing. The Lenina, wonderful to see you as always, Lenina. Hope you had a wonderful evening. Glad you're back. Hope your day is going well, Lenina. Thank you for everything that you do. Who else have we got? Sandwich Nom Nom. Hello, hello to you, Sandwich Nom Nom. Little Pink Pony. Hello, hello. That is an impressive streak. Very nice. Bald Squirrel has arrived unto us. May the streamage commence. Commence it has, Bald Squirrel. Thanks in part to you. Appreciate you. Steely Dan, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. And, oh, and the biologist says I worked for the program committee today to improve the biological science biology course. Oh, Bachelor of Science biology courses. Nice. And then I went off to a self-defense class. Self-defense of one's thesis and the biologist. Pretty cool. Yeah. Holy Lifton, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Evane, what's shaking with you? Wombat Hole, it's good to see ya. Good song. Phoenix Fire Element, how are you doing? Yeah. And Claire Burr, thank you for being here, Claire. It's good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for everything you do, Claire. Saronlin, you couldn't execute. Oh, interesting, Saronlin. You're talking about in Jurassic Park. Is that actually... I'm confused if you're making a joke or if you're actually describing how that program worked in the film. The actual program. This is back when computers were like a fairly new thing in an office setting. Back in the early 90s. I know in the scene when Wayne Knight's character is trying to steal those embryos out of cold storage, he's talking to a guy on the docks, and then it shows like what's supposed to be a live view, but it's like a QuickTime application. You can see the little scrubber thing slowly move to the right as the video plays. He's talking to a recorded video. If you look closely, you'll see it, and you can't unsee it. Alex Vixen, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Alex Vixen says you're peeking a little. Alright, let me turn that down just a smidge. Is that better? Hopefully it is. But yeah. And different color shirt.
Cheated? Try blaming the dinosaur.
I try and wear different color shirts. You know, I try to shake things up a little bit. Niffler, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate that, Niffler. Thank you, thank you. HD and HB, howdy, howdy. It's good to have you here. And yes, indeed, Balint, more science. Good stuff. Yeah. Dinosaur Dave says that's cheating. Wait, what's cheating? What do you mean? San Diego? I don't know what that is, HD and HB. But yeah, and bonsoir to you too, Phoenix the Archaeologist. Hello, hello. I hope you're doing well. Indo says, I'm trying to figure out what today's skull is. Oh. Oh, if you can get it, Indo, I will be impressed. It's, I've got a theme going on. Can anybody guess what my theme is for today? It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But all of these dinosaurs that you see here have something in common. Every single one of them. Yeah, whether it's... Oh, here, let me try a different camera, actually. Let's try this one. Let's see if this works okay for looking at my backdrop. And we'll try something. We'll try that. We're gonna need more slack on the cable, though. There we go. There, we're trying something brand new here. Wrong button. And that's upside down. I could just create a new scene for this with... There we go. I could try creating a new scene for this with it auto-rotated already. But, yeah. Whoop, sorry. Motion sickness. Well, actually, all of them except for that one there have something in common. And it's something I'm going to be discussing with Balint of Sciat Strains later on. So, stay tuned for that. There we go. Ah! Supposed to do that. There we go. Yeah, they're extinct. No, some of them are not. We've got some extant ducks right there in this picture. Yeah, and Lordy knows this one, but that's because we talked before stream. Yeah. Miss Yvette, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. And, Fall on the Blinks. Yeah, they're not, it's not that they're all extinct, but it's a good guess. Oh, San Diego, California TwitchCon. Thank you, HD. Oh, San Diego, California. Vamos a San Diego por el TwitchCon. They were all found near ants? That's probably, yeah, they're all also from planet Earth, Anakin Gabriel. Looking for something a little bit more specific than that, but I like where your head's at. Yeah. Are they all flyers? No, definitely not. Triceratops didn't fly, nor did Stegosaurus, nor did Hypsilophodon or Citypat. Actually, none of these could fly except for our duckos right there. Yeah. And nope, they're not all ornithischians. Struthiomimus, not an ornithischian. Avamimus, not an ornithischian. This guy is not an ornithischian. This guy is not an ornithischian. This guy also not an ornithischian. But it is something that all ornithischians have. Almost all. Yeah.
I can see that my 50,000 a year has been well spent.
Well, holy cow, Murph. Thank you for that tier 3 sub there. I really appreciate that, Murph. Holy cow. 19 months of support. The last few at tier 3, that is splendid, Murph, and that's helping us get ever closer to our Partner Plus goal. So thank you for that support, Murph. I really appreciate it. And Sloppy Salamander, you got it. You got it, you got it. They are all beaked dinosaurs. Yes, indeed. We're going to be talking about the evolution of Keratinus rhamphitheca. You know, keratin beaks. Balint from Sciat Streams. There's a new paper just published on that today, and one of my old roommates is an author on that paper. Jacob Gardner. So that's gonna be fun. We're looking forward to that. It's gonna be good stuff. But you'll have to stay after the raid, because that's when Balint and I are gonna be discussing it. So don't miss it. Yeah. Quack quack indeed, Mayor Space. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, chances are it's some kind of dinosaur. Given that ducks are themselves dinosaurs. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Earbud is very, very quiet today. That's a little better. Doesn't everyone have bills? Har, T-Matrix. Well, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, thank you for helping me. Oh, there's no sub badge there. Well, never mind. Everyone who is subscribed, thank you for helping me pay my bills. No offense to you, T-Matrix. You'll sub on the 21st? No worries, no worries. Seriously. Just you being here adds to the viewer count, and that also helps out the channel, so I appreciate you. I really do. And I mean that very earnestly. No sarcasm, no joke. I appreciate you, Team Matrix, so thanks for being here. And to everybody who supports the stream financially, too. Thank you very much for helping me pay my bills, earnestly. Yeah. What's the dinosaurs at the left? Kinda looks like Chilesaurus, says Murph. You'll have to be more specific. You talking about the skull right there, or are you talking about one of the illustrations, like this guy? Because that's Eva Mimus right there. Yeah. And Gimpleg, you are a viewer count. Thanks for being so, Gimpleg. Yeah. But yeah. Linnaeus says subbing is not required, but it is very much appreciated. Yeah, absolutely. These are free broadcasts, but if you do watch for free, there might be a few ads here and there. There will be a few ads here and there. You can get rid of those by subscribing. You can even do it for free with a Twitch Prime sub through Amazon Prime. Yeah. But, again, you don't have to. It's free either way. So, yeah. Anywho. Metazua updates at 4 o'clock, right? 4 o'clock California time? Yeah, in 49 minutes. So we'll do a game of Metazua then. We'll do today's game. And, yeah. Platypus equals braked equals dinosaur? Dinosaur Dave, what? You and I both know platypus are monotreme mammals, Dinosaur Dave. But yeah. And you got today's Metazua in 3. Very nice, Salamander, very nice. Well, we're going to have the next one in about 48 minutes. Before we get to that, though, why don't we just talk about the brand new dinosaur that we have? We've got a brand new Titanosaur, and it is already up on the Wikipedia page for 2024 in Archosaur Paleontology. This was literally just published like a few hours ago. Maybe even less than an hour ago. Gandhi Titan. So far it's just a stub, but it's already up on Wikipedia. Here's the paper right here, and I unfortunately do not have access to it. It is not open access. And I'm not subscribed to the Journal of Systematic Paleontology. But yeah. Gandhi Titan, Cavo caudatus. So this is another Titanosaur. Apparently pretty similar to Andysaurus. This critter here, from Argentina, Andysaurus, is pretty similar to this critter. This one so far is only known from vertebrae and hip elements, so only from the axial skeleton. But we've got some decent parts. Yeah, many titanosaurian species have been discovered in Eastern Asia, but most of them are controversial. are represented by poorly preserved remains. But here we describe a new titanosaur, Gondititan cavocaudatus, based on a partial skeleton recovered from the lower Cretaceous of Ganxian County, Guangzhou City, southern China. Comprising 6 articulated cervical vertebrae, so 6 vertebrae from the neck that all fit together. 2 partial dorsal vertebrae, so they've got 2 partial, not totally complete vertebrae from the back of the animal. And a complete sacrum. The sacrum are the bones in the pelvis, in the hips. Preserved in articulation with the first 17 caudal vertebrae, so the first 17 vertebrae from the tail, and part of the right pelvis. So, complete sacrum, that's going to be at least 5 sacral verts, plus 17, that's 22 vertebrae, 2 from the dorsal cirrus is 24, and that's 6. So we've got a total of 30 vertebrae from this animal. Just a pretty decent series there. That's more than most sauropods are known from. So that's pretty good. And apparently, yeah, it's allied with the Argentine Titanosaur Andysaurus, this one that I was showing you here. Andysaurus. Pretty cool critter. And, yeah, and there we've got a lot of similar elements to compare it to. You do wonder about that sometimes, like, these animals are going to come out closer to other titanosaurs that have similar elements preserved. If this were an animal known from a humerus, then it's like, oh, well, its humerus looks very close to these other guys that we have a humerus for. But, if you're not comparing like with like, you're not going to come up with the right answer, so... yeah. It is an issue in paleontology, for sure. And 2024 coming out swinging with new dinosaurs. Yes, indeed. We've already got 2. We're only 2 weeks into the new year, and we've already got 2 new species and or genera of dinosaurs. That's pretty cool. We're not going to go into detail about Gondititan right now because I don't have the paper in front of me. But we'll see if I can acquire that. Maybe we'll talk about it in the next week or so. Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, Gondititan and Tyrannosaurus macraensis were published this year. These other ones are still in press. Vectodromius, Cytosaura, Inuentu. They've not been officially published yet. Those are, I think, preprints that are available online right now. Yeah. Dr. Irrefutable says, someday I want to see a full sauropod mount. Oh man, are they cool. There's a pretty well-known specimen. Patagotitan, which is making the rounds in museums around the world, and it is pretty impressive. Take a look at this.
It is not the kind of advertising campaign you'd usually expect from a capital city, but Amsterdam's council has warned rowdy British tourists to stay away. The online advert shows a young man staggering in the street and being arrested by police, and will pop up when Brits search for terms.
That's not what we're here for.
One of the largest.
There we go.
In Amsterdam, perish the thought.
This is just poor editing. Poor YouTube uploading from ITV News. Not great.
Now, finally, they may have been extinct for more than 60 million years, but our fascination with dinosaurs shows no sign of dying out. One of the largest creatures ever to walk the face of the Earth, the Titanosaur, of course it would be called that, is going on display at London's Natural History Museum. Just how big is it? Well, the clue is in the name, you might say. But to give you an idea, whilst elephants and giraffes may be the tallest animals we can expect to see, they'd be dwarfed by a dinosaur you may be more familiar with, the
8 meters tall, yeah.
And the dinosaur that we're talking about would cast a shadow even that, standing at 14 meters tall.
Yep.
And a whole 37 meters long.
And that's when it's walking on all fours. If these animals reared up on their hind limbs, and some paleontologists say, oh, well, they couldn't have done that. And I ask, how else would they have made it if they couldn't do that, So I think there's no shot that they couldn't get up on their hind legs. Yeah.
Even in the dinosaur world, it's a bit of a big deal. And now a full-size cast of Argentina's Patago Titan skeleton has made the epic journey to London to inspire and educate a new generation of visitors.
Pretty cool. And by the way, look at this. Look at how there's no finger bones there. It's just metacarpals, bam, straight into the ground. That's not a mistake, as far as we know. As we understand it, titanosaurs were so bulky that they just got rid of their finger bones. It's just their metacarpals, these bones right here, straight to the ground like that. Pretty wild when you think about it. Like, it's an animal so big and heavy that they're like, yeah, fingers, they just kind of get in the way. Get rid of them, you know?
It is.
I think the first thing everyone experiences when they come into this space is they go, oh my gosh, it's so big. And that sense of awe and wonder at the scale of what the natural world can produce is incredible.
Yeah.
We know loads of people love dinosaurs, and they're a great way into learning about things like evolution, adaptations, ecosystems. And so we hope that people will really learn lots about
welcome,
those sorts of topics that help us understand the natural world today.
The fossilized remains of the beast were discovered when a rancher in Argentina's Patagonia region, hence Patago Titan's name, found himself staring at a single bone as big as he was, sticking out of the ground in the desert. Paleontologists were brought in to recover and preserve as much of the skeleton as possible. This giant herbivore walked the Earth around 100 million years ago. It's thought to be 4 times the size and weight of Dippy, the Natural History Museum's beloved Diplodocus, and 12 metres longer than a blue whale.
So animals like this have a number of adaptations that help them to thrive at this large body size. Their legs act like huge, strong pillars to hold up that weight, powered by gigantic muscles attached to very wide, powerful hips that help keep the animal stable. In addition, we also know they have powerful hearts for pumping huge amounts of blood around the body, and very complicated, efficient lungs that would have been able to deliver oxygen even to such a large body.
Yep.
The exhibition organisers hope Patago Titan's arrival will generate a renewed conversation around the Earth's surviving large creatures, as well as making the little kid in all of us look up and say, wow. Nick Wallace,
pretty cool.
News at 10.
Yeah. So Patago Titan, this critter, is, well, you can also see it in Chicago at the Field Museum. Take a look at this. Pretty cool. Take a look at that. I want to say it's there on a permanent basis because when I did a live stream from here, I streamed from underneath the Patago Titan skeleton. Pretty cool. So yeah, it is really neat to me just how much of a crowd pleaser the big sauropod skeleton is. And I mean, think about that. Like, this is just the bare bones of the animal. That's it. And yet just that is extraordinary. Just the animal stripped down to its bare bones is like one of the most remarkable things you've ever seen. How cool is that? Sauropods really were something else. Just amazing animals. And it's cool that we've got this new one from China, Gandhi Titan. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Here's one more video from AMNH about the same specimen, but in a different pose. Yeah. So look at that in the field. This femur is over 2 meters. It's like, what was it? 7 or 8 feet long? Just the thigh bone.
He called it an iguanodon.
Himanshu, thank you for the follow and welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Yeah.
Though it may
Pretty
not
extraordinary.
seem like much, 500 bits goes a long way towards supporting science. Our treat here on Twitch.
Carl smiled Big Dino.
Yes, indeed, Delta Rain. Thank you for those 500 bits, Delta. I really appreciate that. Delta Rain has been just coming in here and raining bits. I really appreciate that, Delta. How are you doing, by the way? It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. You would make it a good home. There you go, Dan the BC man. Yeah, yeah. And very cool. And the biologist, an internship at a natural history museum during my bachelor's. Can I ask which one it was, Anne? That'd be cool to know. Got to wander around the museum with dinosaurs all the time for free. Awesome. That is one of the perks of working in a museum. Absolutely. Yeah. And Oops Kaput says, any guess about the longevity of these largest dinosaurs? As far as we know, they didn't live all that long. 40 or 50 years, something like that. And they would reach full adult size in probably about 30 years. Or something around there. We don't really have the best understanding of how big, or excuse me, how old the biggest dinosaurs could get. Because, as you can imagine, doing histo on them is difficult. The way that you determine how old a dinosaur is by cutting the bones open and then counting the growth rings inside the bones. Much like you would do with tree rings on a tree stump. It's a bit more complicated for dinosaurs, but it's... yeah, because they're part of, like... they're constantly being remodeled, those bones. Some of the old growth rings can be, like, remodeled out of existence. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, and very cool, Dinosaur Dave. Our new... thank you. These are... ooh, lovely. Excellent. This is, excuse me, this is our new Titanosaur. Yeah, chances are you can actually view these on the Taylor and Francis website. But I don't know if they'd be as large as this, so this is helpful. Thank you, Dinosaur Dave. Yeah, there's the vertebral series. Beautiful that these are in... yeah, we've got our cervical vertebrae right there. We've got our sacral vertebrae. And these look like they're... that's funny. These are weird looking. What's going on with these? Is this right? Those look like sauropod cervicals. Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, they're beautifully preserved. I wish they just had more of it. Holy cow. But yeah, very nice. Very nice. These must be caudals here. Yeah. Really lovely. Well-preserved specimen. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah. Anyway, digging something like this up can be a tremendous undertaking. And we're still kind of, you know, the study of sauropod dinosaurs, you could say it's still kind of in its infancy. And we'll talk about why. But yeah. Look at the size of that femur. Here they're scanning it. This is why they were able to make copies of this so easily. They didn't have to mold and cast the whole thing through traditional means. When you're trying to cast a dinosaur skeleton that's this big, it's easier just to create fiberglass copies through scanning and then rapid prototyping. Yeah. Resin bones are going to be too big and heavy. You basically got to do it in fiberglass. Oh, this is so cool. And then, there we go. It's going through the hall, like, out the door at the front of the hall. Remember when I said that if you are a craftsperson, specifically if you're a metal worker or you know, a welder or somebody like that, there is work for you to do in the field of paleontology. In mounting dinosaur skeletons like this, especially if you happen to live near Research Casting International. I think they're in Toronto, up in Canada. Yeah, holy cow. We always need people to do this kind of work, you know? Yeah. Hang on, I gotta go check out something. I'll be right back, okay? Let's go back a little bit. Pretty awesome. Look at that. And man, would I'd love to get a 3D model of that skull. To be able to print that and have that here in my office would be really, really neat. This skull is actually a composite. The animal was found without a skull. And so what they did is they took a tooth that was found along with the original Patagotitan remains, and they compared that to other titanosaurs that are thought to be closely related, that had similar teeth, and then they kind of built the skull based on what their skulls look like. So there's a lot of guesswork here, but it's a testable hypothesis, you know? They say, we think that the skull looked like this. By finding more of the animal and finding a skull, we can test that hypothesis. And I almost kind of hope that it's not spot on, you know? Because that would mean that we learned something new. But we'll have to see. Yeah. And there you go, Tommy Platicus. Were you going to ask about the skull? I love how it's just sticking out of the door like that. I've never seen this one in person at AM&H. But I've seen this Titanosaur at the Field Museum. It's the same bones, just mounted in a slightly different way. It's got a different pose. Yeah. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Yeah. Good stuff. And it does have a cool looking snoot, Claire Burr. Yes, indeed. If you would like to learn more about this, this particular dinosaur, there's a documentary called Raising the Dinosaur Giant with David Attenborough. You can check it out. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore.
The first sauropods to appear on Earth were comparatively small creatures. This is the cast of the thigh bone of one of them. It's not even as big as my thigh bone.
It's probably Massospondylus.
But after about 20 million years, some had become pretty big. This is a thigh bone from one of those creatures.
It's probably Plateosaurus there.
Then, after that...
Speaking of Plateosaurus, I got my Plateosaurus partially painted today. I put a base coat on my Plateosaurus skull and proximal cervicals 3D print. Let me show you that. Here we go. There we are. It looks a lot better than it did yesterday, right? Not too shabby. So now I just have to paint the bones themselves so they stand out from the matrix, and it'll be ready for display here. So, yeah, pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about that. This is from Plateosaurus, which is the dinosaur that we were looking at yesterday. There we go. Plateosaurus. It's an interesting human silhouette they picked there. But, yeah, this is one of the first of the larger dinosaurs. Plateosaurus is from the late Triassic period. And it's from when dinosaurs were first starting to actually get big. So, yeah. Pretty cool, right? I'm pretty sure that... Another interesting choice of silhouette there. But, yeah. Pretty sure that is the thigh bone that Sir David was holding there.
20 million years, some had become pretty big. This is a thigh bone from one of those creatures.
Why the heels? I don't know, yeah.
But then, after that...
Makes her artificially taller.
Our giant appeared. This is its thigh bone.
Look at that. Holy cow. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Let's protect our fossils, because if they're removed, America loses them forever.
It's true, Xylo Milo. Thank you for the follow, and welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. But yeah. The trucker mud flaps still. There you go, fall on the blinks. Yeah. And Eugen's got a question about ceratopsian frills. Would it be out of the realm of possibility that they could have had eye spots on them to deter predators? That's been suggested many times, Eugen. Yeah. In fact, let's see. Taurus, aka adult Triceratops, if you ask me. But that's a matter of contention. Yep. Eye spots. Yeah, see? So this has been suggested many times for ceratopsian dinosaurs. Yeah. And so that's been suggested more than a few times, really. This idea that ceratopsians, they would have had big circular, almost eye spots on their frills. And this is something that we see in nature again and again. Yeah. Let's see, trying to find you a decent video here. There we go. Butterfly eye spots deflect predator attack. Dr. K.L. Prudwick.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kathleen Prudick, and today I'd like to share with you some of the results of my recent research. Now, I study why butterflies have beautiful wings. And one of the things I study are butterfly wing...
That sounds like a dream job as a scientist. Like, oh, what kind of science do you do? Particle physics, material science? Are you bioarchaeologist or paleoanthropologist? What kind of science do you do? Well, I study why butterflies have beautiful wings. But it's no less legitimate. That is real science, and it's really fascinating. And I'm sure there's a bunch of really cool hypotheses that have been tested about this. And you know what? We're going to hear about them. Good stuff. Yeah.
Share with you some of the results of my recent research. Now, I study why butterflies have beautiful wings. And one of the things I study are butterfly wing eye spots. Why does a butterfly have an eye spot?
Yeah, winning,
well, one
indeed.
idea out there that has never been shown is that butterflies have eye spots because it redirects predator attack to a less vulnerable area, allowing the butterfly to escape and lay more eggs.
Because they go for the eyes.
The butterfly in question that I looked at is called Bicyclus aninana, and the predator I used is a mantid predator that uses its raptorial...
A what? Oh, mantid. Those of you who are from Australia, I hope this isn't like a cuss word or anything there, but but that is a term in Australia, isn't it? If something is munted, that means that it's like messed up. Please tell me if that's a bad word. But yeah. Is there a delay today? It seems like people are a little slow. It's a Bogan term for messed up, says Roseanne. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This summer that was one of the terms of the season. With like me and Fisher and Ethan. I think Fisher introduced it to us. And it just became part of our common parlance, you know? It's like you know, this plaster's looking a bit munted. Might have to get some new ones. Stuff like that. Although I guess plaster in Australia would probably be a bandage, would be a plaster, right? Yeah, we were talking about plaster as in plaster of Paris, you know, a gypsum-based material that we use in paleontological fieldwork. But yeah, damaged or unusable. There you go, Roseanne. Thank you. Yeah. And Alex Vixen, it's also a British slang term. I did not know that. Yeah. That was more New Zealand. Yeah, it was a little bit more nasally, huh, Neverwinter? Yeah. It's tough for me to do that accent without swearing, because usually that's half of the vocabulary when we're doing that voice. So anyway,
I used is a mantid predator that uses its raptorial forearms to catch and eat butterflies. Now, Bicyclus aninana comes in two different forms: the wet season form with large, glorious eye spots, and the dry season form with tiny, reduced eye spots.
Is this ontogeny?
Our research showed that the large eye-spotted butterfly was seen faster and attacked more frequently, but it was able to escape those attacks and lay more eggs than the butterflies with small, tiny eye spots.
Very cool.
We have two different forms, which may have behavioral differences that led to this result. So what we did is we cut out the eye spots. We super glued them onto the wings of the other form.
Huh.
And in those experiments...
Oh, that is super cool. This is a, classic scientific experiment here. It's like, well, we want to figure out if this particular feature on an animal serves a particular purpose. Well, shoot. We take an animal that doesn't have it, and we glue that feature on, and we see if that affects it. That's super, super cool. Oh man, just the simplicity, the elegance of this kind of science really appeals to me.
Glue is cheap.
That is pretty neat.
Forms, which may have behavioral differences that led to this result.
Okay.
So what we did is we cut out the eye spots. We super glued them onto the wings of the other form. And in those experiments, we found butterflies with large eye spots, regardless of what seasonal form they were from, survived better and reproduced more than those with tiny eye spots.
Pretty cool.
So hey, the next time you look at a butterfly and you see those big eye spots, especially on the edge of the wing, you can say that those are used to protect the butterfly from predation and allows the butterfly to go on, live another day, and lay more eggs.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Holy cow, is that cool. I'll give you a link to that video there, and I'll give it a thumbs up. How does this only have 29 thumbs up so far, including mine? That's a shame. Here it is. Go give that a thumbs up. That's really, really cool. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. So, did ceratopsian horns and frills also have eye spots like that? You know, ceratopsian dinosaurs developed this tremendous variety of horns and frills. And oh goodness, on Google. Just want a large format one. There we go. Ceratopsian dinosaurs developed this really wide variety of different frills and horns and epiparietals, episquamosals, jugal horns, all kinds of weird and wacky and wonderful features on their skulls like this. And this is not even all of them here. There's probably at least a third as many again than what you see here. But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily call these all different species or different genera, because a lot of these are probably just part of anagenetic series. So, like, this is the same lineage of animal that just at different stages over millions of years, they develop different features without branching. But that's a soapbox for another time. Pretty neat, right? Pretty neat. Yeah. This looks like the audience at a dinosaur punk rock show. It's a Steely Dan. I mean, I've actually seen that before. Where have I seen that? There was some sort of ornithischian dinosaur. Punk rock dinosaur. Yeah, these are not very good. Some of these are just abysmal AI art. Ugh. Disgusting. Yeah. Somewhere it was... Shoot, I don't remember. Anyway, and HD says, these are all real, not artist concepts? No, each one of these is real, based on real fossil material. Absolutely. Some of these are known from dozens of specimens. Pachyrhinosaurus, for instance, is known from dozens, if not hundreds, of specimens. Centrosaurus, which is right... Where's our Centrosaurus? Let's see... There we go. This is Centrosaurus. Centrosaurus is known from literally like thousands of specimens. Some of these are only known from one specimen, though. But yeah, there's so many different ceratopsians nowadays, and they're almost all from the late Cretaceous of North America. About probably a third of these are from Canada, and almost all the rest of them are from the United States. From Utah, from Colorado, from Montana especially, from Wyoming. A few are from New Mexico. Yeah. And then there's a handful that are from Asia, mostly Mongolia. But it's like 3 or 4. But yeah, Nerthus says, I don't understand 21 at all. 21. 22. Just skip from 21? Protoceratops? Yeah, I have a Protoceratops here. Hang on. Yeah. Protoceratops. Right here. This is life size. So Protoceratops is a quote-unquote primitive ceratopsian. It's one of the Protoceratopsians. It is known from literally hundreds of specimens from Mongolia. We used to think there was a whole bunch of different species, and it turns out that most of those are just different ontogomorphs. They're like different ontogenetic stages, because these animals change a lot through ontogeny. But yeah, pretty cool, right? Pretty wicked beak on these guys. Ceratopsians in general, they all have this beak. Not all ceratopsians had horns, not even all of them had frills, but all of them have that wicked parrot-like beak. This animal here, if it were to encounter you, and if you were to really bother it, it could probably, like, bite your femur in half with that beak. That is pretty serious. Anybody here who's ever been bitten by a parrot, or even like a cockatiel or a budgie, you know how hard they can bite. Imagine jaws this big, with huge attachment points for jaw muscles. Like way up in here. Oh man, this could bite you in half. Yeah, really, really lovely animal. Protoceratops is just, honestly, in some ways, I think it's one of the most exciting dinosaurs because there are so many specimens of it that exist, and so there's the potential for doing really, really cool science on it. So yeah. And that's good, Clairbreath, that you've not had the occasion to be bitten hard by a psittaciform bird. That would be bad. Yeah. So you're welcome, Nerthos. Yeah. We'll be talking more about Protoceratops on January 26th for Roy Chapman Andrews Day. Yeah. But for now, let's go put this back. Yeah. And there we go, Delta. What emote is that? I like that. Oh, it's a bag of silly emote. It looks like, it almost looks like a baby emu or something. That's really cool. Yeah. Durgy says, which is number 24 with the banana bunch frill. 24. Oh, that's Cosmoceratops there. Yeah. I've gone and photographed the original holotype specimen at the Natural History Museum of Utah. Can we find a video on Cosmo? Here's one with Scott Sampson from Dinosaur Train. Good stuff. Yeah, and that's Scott Sampson, which I don't know if Scott Sampson still publishes on dinosaurs. I want to say he's like director of the California Academy of Sciences nowadays. But he used to be at Museum of the Rockies long before my time. And then he moved down to Utah and worked at the Utah Museum of Natural History.
It's the dinosaur man!
Okay. I waited 3 months to push this button. 3.
Zealous Sam, thank you so much for those 3 months of support. I do really appreciate that, Zealous Sam. Thank you for keeping me online for the past 3 months. Good stuff. Thank you. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, Cosmoceratops. It's a pretty cool critter. Did I take any photos of it when I was there in Utah this summer? Let's see. Go to June of 2023. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So I was at a big conference this year in Salt Lake City, Utah, presenting research and stuff. And there is Dr. Randy Ermis, and he took us on a tour of the collections at the opening reception for the conference. There's Diabloceratops behind him there, and there is that holotype skull, the same one we saw in the video of Cosmoceratops. There it is right there. It's a cool critter. I've visited the museum twice to specifically to photograph ceratopsian dinosaurs, and this was the target of my photographs one of those times. I was actually trying to help out Denver Fowler get his PhD thesis done. He needed good images of Cosmoceratops for his work on Chasmosaurine ceratopsian dinosaurs. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's a cool critter, Cosmoceratops. Yeah. And, he's the executive director. Oh, very cool, HD. Nice. Yeah. Good stuff. And Namalula, hey, thank you for saying hi, and tell the kindergartners hello for all of us. If it's afternoon, then tell them konnichiwa. Or if you're in a formal conversation over the telephone, you can say moshi moshi, I suppose. I don't know very much Japanese. Most of the Japanese I know is from Godzilla films, honestly. Okay, that's Namalula. Hi. Yeah. And Neverwinter says Peter Dodson wrote a great book on the ceratopsians. He did. Well, he was editor, I think, of that book, right? Because I'm pretty sure that book is a collection of different papers. That's what we call an edited volume of different papers, and I'm pretty sure that's the same one in which Diabloceratops was first named. One of the dinosaurs I just showed you. Diabloceratops. Yeah. Which was discovered by Don DeBlue, one of my crew chiefs this past summer, and assistant state paleontologist for the state of Utah. Yeah. It was named by Jim Kirkland, who was my other crew chief, and the state paleontologist for the state of Utah. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, New Perspectives on Horned Dinosaurs, the Royal Tyrrell Museum Ceratopsian Symposium, which I think was edited by Peter Dodson, right? Is that the book that you were talking about there, Neverwinter? This one here? I think? I could be wrong. I had this on my Amazon wish list for a long time, and it was out of stock, and then occasionally it would pop up and it would sell for like $500. Oh boy. And no, edited by Michael Ryan, Brenda Chinnery, David Eberth. Yeah. Nope, different one. Different book. But yeah. Yeah. And it is a great, I love the cover there. This is a beautiful piece of art. Holy cow, is it lovely. I like it very much. But yeah. And Danny's biggest 3D print in terms of mass, Emelith, that would have to be my Allosaurus skull. Do you want to see that? Let me go get it. We might have to change camera angles, though. In order to be able to fit it in frame, we gotta change camera angles. Okay. You ready? Whoa, there it is. Take a look at that. No, I'm just kidding. That's not it. There we go. This is Allosaurus fragilis. A life-size skull of Allosaurus fragilis, which is the state fossil of Utah, actually. But, check that out. Check out those teeth. Yeah. Not too shabby, right? Pretty soon, I'd like to build a shelf so I can actually put this behind me during streams. Put a shelf back here because it's too big to fit on the wall. It's yeah, it's a decent sized skull for sure. Not the biggest skull of any dinosaur, certainly not. They get way bigger than this. The Cosmoceratops skull is easily twice the size of this guy. Tyrannosaurus' skull is probably easily twice the mass of this, maybe 4 times the mass. Not quite twice the length. But yeah. And any plans to print out a T-Rex skull? I have 2 of them already, Sloppy Salamander. You saw one already, didn't you? Yeah. Oh, adult. Oh, well now... It's literally right here. I've got a Tyrannosaurus skull, but from a juvenile. I thought I would have time to paint it today, but I did not have time to paint it today. And I'm not going to print the body too, Patrick Crusader. I don't have files for it, nor do I have the space. But, yeah. Allosaurus. A pretty big animal here. Take a look at that. Look at those jaws. Look at those jaws. Hope somebody's clipping this right now. Look at those jaws right there. Holy cow. How cool is that? I mean, seriously. This is maybe the biggest predatory dinosaur in the late Jurassic Morrison Formation of North America. It all depends on whether or not you think that Allosaurus maximus, aka Saurophaganax, is the same dinosaur as Allosaurus, or if it's something different. And it depends on how big
dinosaurs hold a special
magnetism
for children.
Yeah. Beautiful timing there, and Maximum Darnage, 19 months of support. Thank you for that, Maximum Darnage. Thank you kindly. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Alex Vixen says, that reminds me, during Halloween, I saw someone wear a foam Allosaurus head as a costume, with the jaws around his waist, explanation of costume, unlucky time traveler. I like that. Yeah. Good stuff. Allosaurus, let me put this guy back. There we go. That's better. Yeah. And where the heck do you keep all those things when they're off screen? Emeleth, just over there on a table. Temporarily. I still have to build some shelving in my new place here to hold all these, because... yeah, hopefully I can do some of that next week. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, Allosaurus, pretty cool critter. Oh yeah, and the juvenile Tyrannosaurus here. Why don't we continue with discussion on that? We went into a documentary about the. Oh, you know what? No, it's Metazoa time. That's what we're gonna do. It's time to guess our mystery animal of the day. And Recovering Chemist says, oh, hang on, Recovering Chemist. Let's do Metazoa, and then let's talk about Idaho's state dinosaur. Idaho has long had a state fossil, but they just acquired a state dinosaur last year or the year before. So, and a friend of mine was key, was instrumental in that process. So we can talk about that too, yeah. Anyway, let's get rid of these tabs. And let's do some Metazoa. Here we go. So this is a fun online game that you can play at home too. Although, I'm gonna spoil today's. 4 minutes ago, it just updated. So we've got to guess what the mystery animal of the day is.
On your butts.
By using our knowledge of animal phylogeny, the evolutionary relationships between animals, the tree of life, as it were. Let's do it. There is a mystery animal here. We got to figure it out. So the way that it works, it's kind of like the word game Wordle, if you're familiar with that. It's based on Wordle. So we're gonna guess any species to begin, and give me the name of a placental mammal, chat. Cheetah, subpar umpire. That's a good one. Cheetah. We did cat yesterday, I think it was caboose. So let's do cheetah today. Which is a feliform mammal. And right there, see, this is why it's usually best to start with a placental mammal, because already we're down to Boroeutheria. Let me show you what that means. I'll go to our other tree of life to help explain this. So, got all life here. Let's go to animals. Clade Metazoa. So we start off and there's 1.4 million species that we have as possibilities for this game. But we've already narrowed it down. The way that this works is when you type in your guess, it'll show you your guess, and then the most exclusive clade, which is like a group of related animals, that's shared between your guess and the mystery animal. And so in this case, we narrowed it down to Boroeutheria. It was a good guess. Placental mammal. And Boroeutheria is within Mammalia. Boroeutheria. There we go. And those are, I think it includes like carnivorans and ungulates and critters like that. And rodents and primates. Yeah, there we go. Boroeutheria. So it includes everything from primates to bats to rodents to hedgehogs to moles to ungulates, hoofed mammals like this goat. Now, I guessed cheetah, and it didn't give us this group, Laurasiatheria. So we know that this animal is not going to be a carnivoran, like a cheetah or a marten. It's not going to be a bat. It's not going to be a rhinoceros or any other odd-toed ungulate. It's not going to be a horse or a tapir. And it's not going to be an even-toed ungulate. It's not going to be a goat or a cow or a giraffe or a pig. It's not going to be a whale either, because whales belong to this group, Artiodactyla. Whales are hoofed mammals, believe it or not. They evolved from mammals with hooves. So we know it's not on this branch, so we can cross that one off. It's got to be part of Euarchontoglira. It's got to be part of this other group. And so there's a few different directions we can go with this. You can go into Euarchonta, which is the primates and their relatives. Like lemurs, monkeys, apes, tree shrews, tarsiers, etc. Or it could be a rodent or a lagomorph or something like that. And what I want to do first is I want to knock these out. Let's figure out whether or not it's a rodent, because we've got 2,000 species of rodents and their relatives. So let's search, I don't know, squirrel. Oh, shoot, I did. Okay, good, I'm glad that, yeah. It is a Euarchontoglire, good. I like how we've got two primates in this picture. But it's not part of this group. It's not part of Glyres, which means it's got to be part of Euarchonta. It's got to be a primate, probably, or a tree shrew or a lemur. So we can look at the major divisions here. It's probably not going to be a tree shrew, partly because I don't think they even have tree shrews in this game. Yeah. Tree shrew, they don't. Yeah. So, we know it's not part of that clade. It's probably not a Colugo. It's probably a primate. So let's look at our major divisions of primates. And let's see if it's a haplorhine. Monkey doesn't have it? Shoot. Let's try a gibbon and see if that gets us anywhere close. Ooh. And it is a hominoid. Very nice. It could even be a person today. So yeah, it's a gibbon, but Hominoidea is the best we're getting there. World monkeys. It's not going to be one of these. Primates, macaques, monkeys and apes, platyrrhines. Apes, the hominoids. There we go. So we know it's part of this group, but it is not a gibbon. It's a given that it's not a gibbon. But it is a hominoid, which means it's got to be one of the great apes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to see if it's an African ape. Let's just guess human, Homo sapiens, and we'll see how close we get. It doesn't have Homo sapiens. Let's try human. Human. And there we go. It is not a human, but it is a hominin. And that tells me that if it were... It's got to be a gorilla. It's got to be a gorilla. Because if it were a chimp or a bonobo, then it would give us this clade, but it's not. It's giving us the African apes, so it's got to be a gorilla. So let's try that. You ready, chat?
Hold on to your butts.
There we go. And there we go. Not too shabby. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. We've played this 20 times. We have won 20 times. Our max streak is 5, and we're up to 4 right now. I keep forgetting to play this on the weekends when I'm not streaming. But, there we go. Not too shabby.
Trachodon, 32 feet long and 14 feet high. 1,500 teeth, and not a single cavity.
PT Root, thank you for the follow, and welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. So we got this. How many guesses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Yeah, good stuff. Excellent. Yeah. MLS says, I'm sad there are no other Homo species. Well, they used to be. There used to be. Yeah. Let's see. The humans that lived before us. Maybe we'll take a look at that. You know? Love this game. Where did you find it? Sofia Borbola, a member of chat, a member of this community, told me about it. I checked it out, and we've been hooked ever since. Yeah. And Indo says, I just learned this year is the 200th year, 200th anniversary of Megalosaurus being named. Yeah, by William Buckland, 1824. Here. Saw this on Twitter earlier. Let me check my likes. Maybe I didn't like it. Shoot. Let's see. There it is. Yeah. Oh, Susie Maidmont who posted it. Stegosaur expert. But this is a big conference that I think just wrapped up in the UK with a bunch of mostly dinosaur paleontologists and some other paleontologists too. But this is mostly dinosaur people. And when I say that there are more dinosaur paleontologists in the UK than there are dinosaur fossils, this is what I mean. Not everyone here is from the UK, and not everyone specifically studies dinosaurs, but most of these people do. Yeah, or at least a lot of them. And I see a few faces here that I recognize. A few friends and colleagues. Oh, and who is that right there? Who is this, chat? You know this guy. Who is that? Yeah, Lenina, it's Ethan. The other day, Ethan sent me a text. Just no explanation or anything, just a photograph. I actually did have an explanation. The text was the real thing. Yeah. Does anybody know what this is? This is El Original. Yeah.
Myosaurs always ate
their vegetables. Aloricora axolotl, thank you for the follow. Sounds like you're in the right place. Axolotls are super cool critters. Good examples of changes in ontogeny with axolotls. Yeah. Yeah, this is... Well, shoot, I'll show you a clip. Here we go. Check this out.
No one had any idea what they were. In China, they gave rise to the myth of dragons.
I don't think
in
dinosaurs
Britain,
actually
they were
inspired
thought to
dragon
belong
myths.
to a race of giant humans.
And I don't know if anybody really thought that in earnest.
There was one dinosaur specimen to rule them all, and this is it.
Yeah.
That's quite a claim. So how did they go from thinking that these were giant humans to discovering that they were dinosaurs?
There's a guy, Reverend William Buckland. He was a brilliant geologist and paleontologist and very well respected. He started to study these teeth. Now, if you look closely here, you have this tooth coming through. He recognized this as a replacement tooth. He realized that reptiles continue to replace their teeth. And he thought, well, instantly, this must be some huge extinct reptile. This was something completely new, an extinct animal which has not been recorded in the Bible.
That's controversial for a man of the cloth, then.
This must have challenged quite a lot of ideas for him at the time, because indeed, this was something completely new.
In 1824, Buckland named this find Megalosaurus, which means great lizard. It's the world's first ever recorded account of a dinosaur. However, the term dinosaur had yet to be invented.
If I carefully move these around, you can see how big this animal is.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, put this huge skull together.
Yowza, that's a
Gives you
big
a good idea of the size of this beast. I mean,
Yeah.
that's immense.
Pretty fearsome predator.
And it's British too. Incredible.
And what
Pretty cool.
did Megalosaurus look like?
So we now know that Megalosaurus is this big 30-foot long animal, walks on its hind legs, big muscular hind legs, built for running. This was a big predator. And it would have been living in Oxfordshire around about 167 million years ago.
An amazing predator.
Yeah. So
Megalosaurus
that
did account
lower
of-
jaw right there, I happen to have right here too. This is my 3D print of the Megalosaurus holotype jaw. I've not painted it yet, but given it is the 200th anniversary of the description of Megalosaurus, the first dinosaur ever named, first dinosaur ever scientifically described in a proper way. I really ought to do this, huh? Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. This summer when I joined Ethan in Salt Lake City, he let me stay at his place for a while. Saved me a lot of money. I didn't have to go to a hotel in Salt Lake City. Super expensive there. And as a thank you, I printed him a copy of the original Megalosaurus jaw. And so he has that now. And that's why he sent me a picture of the original that he got to see in England attending this conference over the past week. So Ethan studies megalosaurs. He's currently working on the best specimen ever found of Torvosaurus, which is a big North American megalosaur. Yeah, there it is in Prehistoric Kingdom. Beautiful reconstruction of this animal there. Yeah, Torvosaurus. Super cool critter. Oh, there's the PNSO Torvosaurus. That is excellent, too. It's like Allosaurus, but maybe slightly bigger when full grown. And kind of a different shaped skull. It's got kind of a longer, lower skull. It's a cool critter. It's a very cool critter. Oh, that's cool. When you search Torvosaurus on YouTube, look at the second video that comes up. Holy cow. Yeah.
Hey, folks.
Let's try and find some footage of the actual animal here, shall we? Yeah, from the game Prehistoric Kingdom. Excellent park builder game. Awesome. Really cool. So this is another megalosaur. It's the largest known megalosaur at present. We think these guys are very closely related to the Spinosaurids, though. Pretty neat. But yeah. Anyway, good stuff. And Bass Power says, nice. It's nice to have you here, Bass Power. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah. Lenina wants to know, is Ethan planning on doing another fundraiser for this year's dig? I gotta talk to him about that. And we, actually, are gonna be having Ethan on as a guest pretty soon here. I need to work out the details with him. But he's gonna be one of our first paleontologist live stream guests. So that is gonna be pretty neat.
And obviously we'll have a building key and that'll kind of bring the whole thing together as well.
Oh, they're kind of clipping through each other. They didn't do that in real life.
Alright.
That's maybe not accurate there. But anyway, yeah. And Indo says, it's amazing to think the word dinosaur has been around nearly 200 years. Well, it was coined in 1842, so we're going to have to wait until 2042 for the 200th anniversary of the term dinosaur. And who knows if we'll make it that far. I'm not talking about this Twitch channel, I'm talking about humanity, you know? We'll see if we make it to 2042. But, yeah. And Drenzel's, I know, right? Yeah. But yeah. And Fatal Butterfly, I'm not really much of a video game guy, so I've never played Ark or Ascended. I've never even heard of Ascended. But yeah, but I did play Prehistoric Kingdom before it came out. They sent me an advanced copy of it. Oh, and more Torvosaurus there. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, check that out. Here. Let's turn the sound on for that.
As well.
Let's hear him.
There you go.
Yeah, nice. Wonderful game. And if you want to see my pre-alpha release review of it, well, then here is the link in the chat. There you go. Good stuff. Yeah. Ascended is just Arc ported up to another more powerful engine renamed. Oh, gotcha, Indo. Okay, cool. Yeah, never played that. And Pumbaa, my love, thank you for the follow from 6 minutes ago. I appreciate it. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Sorry, I must have been away from the camera when you followed, but I appreciate you, Pumbaa. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. And let's see something here real quick. Oh, Balint is already online. Excellent. We might raid into him pretty soon. But, yeah. Because we've got some new papers to discuss. But you know what? Before we do that, why don't we get back into that documentary about Nanotyrannus?
In that brief moment,
only a brief moment,
are the only species to comprehend and appreciate the great dinosaurs.
Kennedy, you have been subscribed for more than just a brief moment. 19 months there. That's almost a whole year, isn't it? Thank you, Kennedy, for that ongoing support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Kennedy. Holy cow, do I appreciate your support of this channel. Thanks for keeping me on the air for 19 months at this point. That's excellent. Yeah. Yeah, before we zoom away and before I do a science crossover stream with Balint, why don't we talk about this critter a little bit more? I just painted this the other day, and it's not done being painted yet, obviously. I gotta paint in all the matrix and everything. But this is a skull of a particular dinosaur. Which dinosaur? It depends on who you ask. I would call that a juvenile Tyrannosaurus. But a handful of other dinosaur paleontologists would call it something different. They would call it Nanotyrannus. And there's a documentary that we've been trying to get all the way through for a while now, but I will bring it back to the beginning here. Here we go.
In the harsh badlands of Montana, a creature no one has ever seen before is unearthed. From the very moment of discovery, dinosaur experts struggle with the question of its identity, looking for answers as to how this animal lived and died. They set out on a quest to solve an ancient puzzle.
What is this animal?
This is the Rosetta Stone of meat-eating dinosaurs.
And there is no such a thing as a Rosetta Stone in science.
I need to make that an alert.
This is an exploration full of intrigue and uncertainty. What seems obvious one moment isn't so the next. What impact will this creature have, and what secrets will it reveal that could change paleontology forever? Follow the adventure of one of the most remarkable scientific finds of the last century. Follow us on the trail of the mystery dinosaur.
On the trail of Tradoon. That was good timing there, Risadegu. That was great timing. And so part of this goes back to the Cleveland skull, which, did we get to that part yet? I think we did. Yeah. Here we go. But I actually did a live stream from this museum back in the summer of 2022. From Rockford, Illinois. The Burpee Museum of Natural History.
Since 1941, the Burpee Museum of Natural History has remained a cultural focal point in this community. As the museum prepares for its arrival, Rockford welcomes and embraces this exciting dinosaur, now known as Jane, named for a museum benefactor.
This is Rockford's dinosaur. Rockford people found it.
Well, Rockford's never seen anything like Jane before, and I think what Jane has done for Rockford is help give this community a little bit of faith in itself.
Suddenly, this modest museum becomes a destination for paleontologists and dinosaur enthusiasts from around the world.
They've done some cool things at that
You
museum.
wouldn't believe how excited I was when I saw these bones.
And this is one of the top specimens of a carnivorous dinosaur to come out of the late Cretaceous.
It's Tom Holtz. Look
Amidst
how
the
young he was.
fanfare.
And so this is the famous Cleveland skull. That is this same one right here. This was the holotype of Nanotyrannus. The name means small tyrant. It's supposed to be like a, well, depending on who you ask, it's either just a young T-Rex or it's a totally different kind of Tyrannosaur. It's very, very different from T-Rex. And it is different from an adult Tyrannosaurus for sure. But the thing is, we would expect to see big ontogenetic changes there. Big changes in what we call ontogeny. The changes that a dinosaur or any other creature undergoes through its lifetime.
Ontogeny.
As it's growing and developing, parts about it are going to change. And with dinosaurs, those changes are pretty dramatic.
Ontogeny.
Because partly, we think that these animals may have been ontogenetically niche partitioning. They may have actually been doing different ecological jobs at different growth stages. So they'd have different shaped teeth. Their limbs might be different proportions. Their skulls would be different shapes. And so it is kind of a...
Ontogeny.
It is kind of a fundamental question in dinosaur paleontology. How much did dinosaurs actually change? And how much would we expect them to change? Can you really call something a new species or even a new genus just because it looks a little bit different from similar dinosaurs that have been found from the same time and place? Is that actually a new dinosaur, or is it just a different ontogomorph, as we would call it? And this is one of those dinosaurs that kicked it off. It was first named Gorgosaurus lancensis back in 1942, I think. I think Charles Gilmore named it Gorgosaurus lancensis in 1942. And then it was kind of rediscovered, well, not rediscovered, but Bob Bacher found it in the museum collections in Cleveland, I think, and he named it Nanotyrannus. Oh, it's like T-Rex, but small.
This drawer contains
You found it
all
in a collections like
North
that, yeah.
American identified specimens of Troodon.
Erosius, thank you for the follow, and welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. Yeah. But yeah.
A long-standing controversy is reignited. Is this a Nanotyrannus or a juvenile T-Rex?
Yep.
For years, they have been listed as separate species on the dinosaur family tree, but there are some who believe they are the same animal.
In 1941, the Cleveland Museum of Natural History collected a small tyrannosaurid skull in southeastern Montana.
Yep.
Now, this single skull has sparked a lot of debate and controversy over the last 60 years. It's gone through several name changes and redescriptions. In the late 1980s, it was named Nanotyrannus lancensis, the pygmy tyrant. Well, that name...
And this guy here is Scott Williams, by the way, who now works at Museum of the Rockies. He used to be at the Burpee Museum in Illinois. Now he's at Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana, where I used to work. We overlapped very briefly before I left Montana.
Hung for about 10 years when it was redescribed as a juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex. But the interesting thing is that these paleontologists were arguing over one skull of one specimen. And really, that's why we're excited about Jane, is because Jane has the potential to have so much more material for all these paleontologists to argue about.
Yeah.
My first impression of the bones of Jane, which I've just had a chance to see, is that it is likely going to solve the riddle of Nanotyrannus.
It's complete enough. There's enough of the specimen there that you have a very good
Phil
chance.
Curry. Phil Curry was actually on the original paper describing Nanotyrannus. I think he was last author on that paper. Yeah. And Cod wanted to know, what are the little holes in the upper jaw? Oh, these are called maxillary foramina. So we've got these little pits there along the jaw, and depending on who you ask, those are either like little blood vessel pits that would supply blood to the lips of this animal, because these guys may have had kind of lizardy lips, almost like a lizard, you know. That, or if they had crocodile-like, like sensory face skin, like a crocodile, then those same pits would have served that same purpose. We have that in crocodilians. Size large. That's bad sculpt. But that's not a Nile crocodile skull, that's an alligator skull, but it'll do. It'll do. This is alligator mississippiensis, I believe, right? I think so. Shoot. But anyway, you see those same pits along there. Or maybe they're not the same. Maybe they're just similar. These do have a lot more pits and stuff like that than a Tyrannosaur does. Partly because they've got these, like, you know, they've got armor over the top of their skull, and they've got those osteoderms all over their bodies. The bone texture of crocodilians on their osteoderms or on their skull bones, very distinctive. Like, if you find just a chunk, you know it's from a crocodilian because of that particular texture. Other animals don't have that texture. So yeah. Are they more enhanced in Spinosaurus skulls? It depends on who you ask, Mark Melvin. Yeah. It depends on who you ask. Yeah. And Cod says they're so much more bird-like than crocodilians. Yeah, because birds are from the same branch of the dinosaur family tree as T-Rexes. Birds are theropods. There's dinosaurs, there's birds, there's T-Rex right there. It's one of the Tyrannosaurs. So this is the theropod branch of the dinosaur family tree. So T-Rex is pretty close to birds in the grand scheme of things. T-Rex may have even had feathers. We don't really know. Yeah. And what's the name of those most dino birds? They have lip pits? I'm not sure I know what you mean, Emeleth. Could you rephrase? Yeah. Anyway. Clearburst says, how hard is it to tell if those are for blood, for osteoderms, or can we readily tell if they were for sensor pits? That's a great question, Claire. It depends on who you ask. So, let's see. There we go. Let's see. Manage preferences, reject optional cookies, download PDF. So this paper right here. Come on, hard drive. You can do it. There we go. By Thomas Carr, lead author. Oh, Dave Riccio, my undergrad advisor, is the second author. Yeah, so he suggests that it was for a crocodile-like facial sensory system. That's what they say here, and they have this reconstruction of what that would look like. A lot like a crocodile. So they're arguing that they wouldn't have had fleshy, lizardy lips. That instead, this would have been, you know, kind of for, like, sensory, like, touch organs, basically, on the head. They'd be able to, like, nuzzle things and feel them. So, yeah. But other paleontologists have argued pretty strenuously that those are just blood vessel pits to supply the the lips with blood. I don't really have a horse in that fight, you know? Yeah, I'm not sure.
You're going to resolve the whole problem of whether Nanotyrannus and Tyrannosaurus rex are the same animals or not.
Finding itself at the center of a scientific firestorm, the Burpee Museum sponsors the Great Dinosaur Debate in an effort to present all sides of this controversy.
And I like how the Great Dinosaur Debate, you know, not exactly a lavish affair. We're a pretty small field, dinosaur paleontology. And, yeah, if you're expecting some sort of big event with, like, all kinds of stage lights and podiums and, you know, this big dais in front of no, it's not like that. This is, they've got a giant Post-it note right there with a Tyrannosaur skull. Yeah.
The Great Dinosaur Debate in an effort to present all sides of this controversy.
To great, big, thick crunchers. This would have to happen, correct? All right. Reduced tooth count and great fat teeth.
I've been writing up morphology.
And there is the author, lead author of this paper right here, the one that I was just showing you. This paper here, that is Thomas Carr. Yeah, who is from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He runs the museum there, another museum that I live streamed from in summer of 2022. That was a whirlwind summer. Holy cow. But that is his museum here. Yeah. It's all theropods at this museum. Maybe exclusively. It's just theropod dinosaurs.
I'm Nick Weirsom. I'm the Curator of Education for the Kenosha Public Museum System, and we're standing here in the main gallery at the Dinosaur Discovery Museum.
It's jam-packed full of theropods.
Really interesting facts about the Dinosaur Discovery Museum and dinosaurs in general. One, the Dinosaur Discovery Museum is home to the largest display of theropod dinosaurs in the United States, with 24 different meat-eating dinosaurs stuffed into one gallery.
They have more. They have more now. This does not look nearly as jam-packed as it did when I visited. This video is from 8 years ago. Yeah, they have more now. I don't see the Ceratosaurus. I don't see the Torvosaurus. I don't see the Suchomimus. They have more now. Way more.
Number 2. Not all dinosaurs are extinct. In fact, there are 10,000 different species of dinosaurs still alive on our planet today. We just happen to call them birds.
It's true. Yeah. But, here we go. That's really nice. Yeah. So Tyrannosaurus, Dinochirus, Struthiocamelus, Acrocanthosaurus, Archaeopteryx, Eoraptor, and who is this right here? Is it Herrerasaurus? Hesperornis right here? Some sort of ornithomimid, that's probably Gallimimus there. Velociraptor. Do they fly a drone through here? That's cool. Yeah, so this is the museum that Thomas Carr works at. And he is, like, largely responsible for,
This is a rare opportunity to view the inside
for that
story
museum.
of the extraordinary world of paleontologists. Who they are, what they do, why what they do is important for science and
Kitty and Eric and
society.
the 44 raiders have stumbled into the extraordinary world of paleontologists.
Kaid and Eric, welcome to Paleontologizing. It is great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And howdy, howdy. Well. I'm glad you could be here. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm broadcasting to you from my office in the San Francisco Bay Area.
You might say. That trunk is completely covered with thin, bony plates.
Florian Copper, thank you for the follow. Welcome. How was your stream, Kaid and Eric? I hope it was really, really good for both of you and for all of your viewers, many of whom are here. Welcome, everybody.
Jump! It's Marvin!
And another raid Hard luck clutch. There we go, Hard Luck Clutch. Thank you for the raid. How did your stream go? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Holy cow. Good stuff. Shoot, again, my name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. Dinosaurs are what I study, what I publish on in the scientific literature, what I talk about here on Twitch 5 days a week, and what I dig up during the summers. So this past summer, I was actually live streaming our dinosaur digs in Wyoming and Utah. Dinosaur digs live on Twitch. It was a ton of fun. Streaming live via satellite, showing you how we excavate dinosaurs. Check out the YouTube page if you want to see those videos. But anyway, yeah. And Hard Luck Clutch, how did your stream go? Tell me all about it. Kaid and Eric, how did yours go? I hope it was excellent. Excellent. And Embic Lig, how are you doing? Thank you for following. Kaid and Eric says, wow, dinosaurs. Oh, you bet. Dinosaurs are what I do. Just had a quick breakfast stream. Was fun. I'm glad to hear it, Kaid and Eric. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, without further ado, since we've got a bunch of cool new people here, why don't I introduce you to somebody who will tell you a little bit about what paleontologizing is all about, how a paleontologist arrived on Twitch in the first place, all that stuff. Boosted Brims, thank you for the 4 months of support.
Even
I really appreciate
like
that.
I've been here this long.
Thank you, Boosted Brims, for your continued support. I appreciate it. And hang on. Previously recorded Danny is sneaking up behind me right now. He heard those raid alerts and he came running. So we're gonna let him take the floor. Previously recorded Danny, you should tell these new folks what this is all about.
Well, thanks, present day Danny. Well, if you're new here, then welcome to Paleontologizing. You might be wondering to yourself, where's the video games? Well, my name's Danny Anduza, and I'm a paleontologist. I don't really do too much in the way of video games, I guess. I work on dinosaurs.
Oh, hang on.
Hello. The creature we will be examining is a paleontologist.
Ash Odinson, thank you for the raid, and welcome to Paleontologizing. Holy cow, 3 raids in a row. I had to interrupt, sorry, previously recorded Danny, but I had to interrupt him real quick. Ash Odinson, I hope you had a great stream. It's good to see you. Thank you for bringing your viewers. It's fantastic. How are you? Good stuff. But yeah, and Hard Luck Clutch, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Tell me how your stream went, Ash, and let's bring back previously recorded Danny here. And it looks like he's already moved on to a different setting here, but that's okay. We'll bring him on anyway. Previously recorded Danny, take it away again.
Well, thanks, present day Danny. Well, if you happen to be new around here, then welcome to Paleontologizing. You may well be wondering to yourself, well, if this is Twitch, then where are the video games? I'm gonna level with you here. I don't really do much in the way of video games. I'm a paleontologist. My name is Danny Anduza, and dinosaurs are my area of study. But how in the world does a paleontologist end up on Twitch? Well, you're about to find out.
When I finished high school, I moved to Montana and immediately started work at Museum of the Rockies, which at the time was an unparalleled powerhouse of paleobiology. That program was built by this guy.
Famed paleontologist Alan Grant.
Well, kind of.
You consulted on that movie.
I did consult on all those movies.
And they said that the guy Alan Grant was you.
Yes. Yeah, well, fortunately, he didn't get eaten.
Meet Jack Horner, the real-life Alan Grant. He's one of the most prominent and controversial paleontologists in the country, a dyslexic MacArthur Foundation genius who never finished college and who says he doesn't care why dinosaurs went extinct. To him, the important part is how they lived.
It was at Museum of the Rockies, under the auspices of Jack Horner, that I learned how to be a dinosaur paleontologist. And a huge part of that I learned by working with Jack's final graduate student, a guy by the name of Denver Fowler, who would later go on to become curator of the Badlands Dinosaur Museum. Working with Denver, I did summer after summer of fieldwork in the remote Badlands of Montana. Together, we dug up more dinosaurs than we knew what to do with, at fossil sites numbering in the hundreds. In 2012, I discovered a new species of ceratopsian dinosaur, hopefully soon to be published. The next year, we excavated the world's smallest and youngest Tyrannosaurus rex. Then, we dug up a brand new ankylosaur.
Montana's news leader.
5 paleontologists are excavating what looks to likely be a new species of armored dinosaur.
So we found its head, we found parts of its armor and plates, and so it should be a new species.
Not bad, right? Well, anyway, much like my fieldwork, my research also focuses on dinosaurs.
For example, here's Triarchunkus, the last of the Alvarezsaurs, just published in July of 2020.
One of my current projects focuses on Spinosaurids. I can't really talk too much about that until it's a little bit closer to publication, so stay tuned for that.
Anyway, let's get back to how I ended up on Twitch. A couple years ago, things in Montana were declining rapidly, so I picked up and moved on to greener pastures. I'm so glad I did.
And with that new perspective, I also realized that I have very little patience with the soul-crushing bureaucracy within academia. So for the time being anyway, I decided to take my career in a slightly different direction.
I got hired for a job in early childhood education. As a teacher, I get to have a positive impact on kids' lives and help them find a passion for science. Then, when COVID-19 showed up, the school had to close. But that didn't stop the teaching or the learning. We just moved online.
All right, friends. So, we're going to be looking at a book in a little bit, but I thought we'd start off with a song. At 3, 2, 1. Oh, give me a home
where the hadrosaurs roamed, where triceratops bellowed and grazed, where erosion uncovers bones we seek to discover, for to strike the whole world amazed. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. It was a pretty easy jump from teaching online to streaming on Twitch. I had my first broadcast in May, and I've been on here ever since. Now, I believe pretty strongly that any good scientist should also be a public servant. In my opinion, talking to everyday people about her science is one of the most important things that a researcher can do. I now have a golden opportunity to reach out directly to people where they are.
This is what I'm all about, and now, thanks to Twitch, I get to share it with you. And I'm so happy to be able to do so.
It's my intention to continue this mission of education by answering your questions, providing good science content, and working to grow this channel. And if you could help by following, or if you could afford it, by subscribing, I would be deeply grateful.
So anyway, to my regular viewers, thank you again for sitting through this. And to everybody who's new, welcome. I'm genuinely, earnestly glad that you're here. And I hope you stick around. We've got a remarkable little community here, and I'd be delighted if you join us. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back into it. So, present day Danny, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, previously recorded Danny. And of course, thank you even more to Kide and Eric, Hard Luck Clutch, and Ash Odinson for your 3 consecutive raids. Holy cow. I do really appreciate that. It's great to have you here, as always. Right before you showed up, we were trying to get through more of a documentary from 2006 about... well, partly about this animal. This is a small-ish Tyrannosaur skull. This is the Cleveland skull, and depending on who you ask, this is either a young Tyrannosaurus Rex, or a different dinosaur called Nanotyrannus. This is an ongoing debate in dinosaur paleontology, and it rages on even today. There was a paper just published about this a few days ago. It was like January 3rd or something. New paper was published by one of the people that I was digging with this summer. Nick Longrich is lead author on that paper. I don't necessarily agree with his conclusions on that, but that's how it often goes in science, you know? I'm still convinced that that's a juvenile T-Rex. I don't think that Nanotyrannus is real, but, or that it's actually a distinct dinosaur, rather. But, that's the cool thing about science is, you know, somebody's wrong and somebody's right, and we'll figure it out someday. There is a real objective reality out there, and one day we'll figure it out. And those of us who are right should be gracious about it, and those of us who are wrong should be happy to finally learn the truth, you know? That's what science is all about. And yep, I'm planning to do fieldwork this summer as well, Dan the BC Man, you betcha. Yeah. And that is the one I was 3D printing the other day. We got it assembled, and I still have to paint it so that it looks as nice as it should. Here, yeah, it's gonna look like that when it's done. Yeah.
These paleontologists were arguing over one skull of one specimen. And really, that's why we're excited about Jane, is because Jane has the potential to have so much more material for all these paleontologists to argue about.
Yeah.
My first...
Good stuff. But yeah. And Albert Playaways, Albert, thanks for being here. And I am having a great day. I hope you are too. Yeah. If they're wrong, then learn from... Exactly, Fatal Butterfly. Exactly. Yeah. And Codmos, I don't really eat meat, so I wouldn't do that. You're asking the wrong guy. Yeah. But yeah. And Salamander says, do you have an opinion on which model of speciation is the most plausible? If any one, any combination of? I think it depends on which group of animals you're talking about. Which group of organisms, I should say. Were you discussing this with Denver and Liz? Was this a subject in the class? Because my views on this are going to be very similar to those of Denver and Liz. And we're definitely in the minority within dinosaur paleontology. But we're big on anagenesis, on single lineage evolution. We're pretty convinced that that is like more or less the dominant mode of dinosaur evolution, and that cladogenesis is something very special and infrequent. But yeah, that was last night's class. Denver and Liz had some differing opinions, which are funny. Oh, that's really cool, Salamander. That is really cool. Yeah. Shoot, I didn't sign up for that. I haven't been auditing those classes, but maybe I'll get in there. We'll see. I know I've missed the deadline, but yeah. Anyway, for those of you wondering what we're talking about, you saw Denver Fowler in the welcome video. He was my mentor for a good while back when I lived in Montana. He was my crew chief out there in the field for most of my Montana excavations. Most of my Montana fieldwork, I should say. And he's having a special class, which if anybody in the audience hasn't heard about this yet, then you might just be able to get in there. we go. Yeah. No, the deadline for signing up was the 15th, which was 2 days ago, but there might still be a chance to get in. New online discussion class on evolutionary paleobiology. Good stuff. Through Dickinson State University and the Badlands Dinosaur Museum in Dickinson, South Dakota. Open to anyone worldwide, no prerequisites, 2 transferable credits. It does cost money because this is... They're trying to, like, establish a paleontology program at this little college in North Dakota. I was talking with Denver about this. And, oh, here, shoot. First, I'll give you a link. There you go. Yeah. And are the classes recorded and you can watch them later if you join now? You should ask Denver about that, oops kapoots. Or ask Liz, rather, because Liz is actually in charge of the class. And I think Denver's just basically helping out. But he told me that their whole goal is to create a very affordable, low-cost vertebrate paleontology program at Dickinson State University. Because right now, a lot of people can't actually afford to get a degree in paleontology because, well, we all know that university education in the United States is snowballed in terms of cost and also, in a lot of ways, declining quality. It's a bad situation. Academia is dying. But I don't know. I really admire Denver's take on this sort of thing. So Denver grew up working class. He's very, very proud of his working class roots in the north of England. And he has a lot of respect for people for like tradespeople, you know? He would like to establish almost, the way I've heard him describe it before, it's almost like a trade school, but for paleontology. Trade school for fossil science. And this is the venue for that. Here we go. This little college in Dickinson, North Dakota. This is where Liz teaches. Yeah. Danny Ream says, you really think academia is dying? In a lot of ways, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, really small school. But this could be... What it reminds me of is it reminds me of another small school that has become a, like, huge training ground for paleontologists. And that is... Here we go. In Rapid City, South Dakota, the South Dakota School of Mines, which used to be like a trade school for mining and, like, you know, kind of industry, geology, and, you know, like no frills, very practical-minded education. But they have a phenomenal paleontology program. And an old friend of mine actually teaches there now. Sarah Keenan. And it's a great school to learn to be a paleontologist. And it is definitely cold there now, HD. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I also did a live stream from here a couple years ago. I think it was also 2022. But it's a pretty small campus. And museum. Here we go. Yeah. Museum of Geology. Yeah. Good stuff. So this is them painting a mosasaur on the wall there. And this is really neat because they used a projector to project the skeleton onto the wall, and then they used it to paint it on there. And here we go. Let's try... I'm trying to find you a decent video about this. A short one. Let's see.
Well, taking time to study fossils is a chance to understand parts of our past. On this National Fossils Day, KELOLAND's Sydney Thorson takes us to the Museum of Geology at the School of Mines in Rapid City.
From ancient exhibits to fossil cleaning, paleontologists and Badlands National Park officials
Anybody remember this stream when I was there?
Fossils Day.
Fossils are fantastic, and they're also very valuable pieces of information because they represent different versions of planet Earth that doesn't exist anymore. And it gives us some insight into how life succeeds and fails through time.
Here at the Museum of Geology at the School of Mines, there are hundreds of thousands of fossils. Each one of them have their own story, and a lot of them roamed in South Dakota, the Black Hills, and Badlands National Park.
The Black Hills are this little geologic dome that pushed up through all these different layers of rock. And so what it's done is it's brought rocks to the surface from 540 million years ago all the way up to the present day. And
yeah,
so
Dunkley is super cool. I'd love to print a Dunkley
geologic record.
By continuing to share information and ancient stories of these fossils, their important history will never be forgotten.
There's not a lot of places on planet Earth where you can see this much geologic time in a short drive, which is really kind of astounding. So we're in a very fortunate place to have this.
In Rapid City, Sydney Thorson, KELOLAND News.
Cool stuff. So anyway, at this tiny little university, the South Dakota School of Mines, they have a wonderful paleontology program, honestly one of the best in the world. Denver and Liz are trying to establish something similar at Dickinson State University in North Dakota. And that class, again, there's the link right there. That class is a step in that direction. And so I really, really hope that it succeeds, because that would be really neat. You know, right now in the field of paleontology, people who come from money are disproportionately represented in the field, because they could afford to go through all the schooling and everything. They could afford to take unpaid internships or very low-paying jobs at museums, because they didn't have to support themselves financially through that. Maybe they already had money. As a result, wealthier people are more... They're overrepresented in paleontology and in science in general. And any efforts to try and even that out, to try and offer lower cost opportunities to people, I'm all for. And so I really, really hope that that succeeds. Oh yeah. Anyway, Tannerim says, who has the best paleontology program in your opinion? I don't know. I used to say Montana State University, but that's really kind of fallen apart. It doesn't really exist in the same way it used to. So, yeah. And level the playing field. Yes, indeed, Lenina. Yes, indeed. With that said, we are going to continue the science here, and I'm going to continue talking about science with Balint from Science Streams. So let's put a Smilodon there under our credits. And let's get started there. I'm going to go join Balint, who is himself a molecular and systems biologist, and I'm going to jump into his stream, and we are going to be talking about some new scientific papers just published, including a paper just published by one of my old roommates, Jacob Gardner from Montana. So let's go do that. So please continue with us through the raid I'm raiding out early because I'm continuing with Balint. So don't go away. Thank you to everybody who's helped make this stream a success today. Cheerers and subscribers, resubscribers, followers and gifters, moderators and chatters and lurkers, everyone. Thank you. I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you did too. And again, it's not over. It's good to finally be able to, like, raid in early. Not gonna be as tired for this, so that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah. Let's go ahead and join Balint there, everybody. I will see you there. Take care, everybody. Not bye-bye. I'll see you in just a minute. Over.